Welcome, motherfuckers! Yeah, you can tell this ain't monetized, can't you? Fuck you, fuck you, fuck your mothers, fuck your fathers, fuck your sons, and fuck your daughters. I don't care. Right.
And the whole thing will fuck you too.
Most importantly, welcome to Planet Motherfucker. Well, where we don't give a shit about anything. So fuck you and fuck your opinions.
Yes.
Okay. Let's be very clear about this, people. This is going to be a place where we're going to say what we want. And if you don't like it, fine, don't care. You can also voice your own opinions too. That's called the live chat, which I've left open for people to get engaged with if they want to. Otherwise, you don't get an opinion because this is not a democracy. This is a dictatorship.
Way.
Okay? Unless you use that live chat, you don't get an opinion. At least not in this place, because this place is mine, biatch.
And when you die, it's mine. Wow.
Some shit like that anyway. But anyway, as you guys can tell, I'm joined by the mouth that can't stop eating.
Oh, shut up. I've had a long day at work.
And the world's biggest complainer since, I don't know, Groucho Marx.
The biggest complainer since the last one was made in 1977?
Yeah, it's there, yeah. You know, and that is what it's like when worlds collide.
Mm-hmm.
Some things are powerful enough to attract small planets, but anyway. Got it, did we? Right.
Yeah, no, I had the notification up saying that we're live on Twitch as well.
Well, yeah, it's up on both. And fuck Twitch, by the way, just to be clear, just so we don't rule anyone out. Fuck Twitch and fuck YouTube in equal measures. I don't care. Oh, look. We have a YouTube viewer. Hello, YouTube viewer. Would you like to give an opinion about something? Or are you just going to sit back there like everyone else does and not pay attention to anything?
And that's literally what I do on a daily basis.
Yeah, like the uninformed masses do, because they can't be bothered to learn about anything that's actually fucking going on. I call them Generation Z.
We're not all the same, you know. Thank you very much. Yes, I will defend my generation here. Fuck you.
Oh, no, I'm your uncle. That's disgusting.
Not like that.
I know you live in Thanet, which is the capital inbred system of the planet. Well, yeah, both platforms are full of bitches. You're exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Also, many people who've got no character and no guts. And also people who are far too scared of the modern world to say what they really think because they're worried about PC culture. Well, fuck you.
Honestly, I think that is what's wrong with my generation.
Oh, hey, what's this? Oh, it's not just millennials. It's not just millennials, but for the most part, there's a lot of them. Yes, absolutely. But as this one pointed out before, it's not all of them, but there is a lot of them. But to be fair, there are people of my generation who are just as culpable for this shit. So, but there you go. But yeah, so much stupid shit going on at the moment. I mean, the only good thing that's gone on lately is like the easing of restrictions here in the UK for the COVID stuff. But even that's full of load box. Because the first thing happened the day that got thing, the first news story was Indian variant might mean restrictions to return. Yeah, fuck off. What is that a euphemism? Is it? Camera colours. If it is, you might want to clean your brush first.
Oh dear. I think it might need a deep clean. Shit, my lighting's gone. Fuck! Karma! Fucking karma!
That's cosmic karma, bitches! I told you before we went on air, don't insult people particularly, and you just did, and that's what happens. It's called karma.
I didn't even mean for that. That's the issue. I'm really, really fucking tired.
Yes, Steph is doing that. That's pretty much what Steph's method of operation is. She does like tarring everyone with brushes. Well, you're a hairdresser, right? So that would be your thing, right?
I don't just use brushes, I use sharp objects as well.
Yes, because once upon a time, Stephanie was studying to be a serial killer.
Oh, hell yeah, Sweeney Todd style. But I'm currently doing my other profession right now.
And the first person that says it's the world's oldest profession gets booted.
Do you know what? I think we've covered this before on a different show, but I was absolutely fascinated by the fact that prostitutes were the first people to wear false eyelashes, and it was stop cum going in their eyes, and now they're a massive fashion accessory.
Yeah, essentially they should actually be called cum shields.
Well, yeah, that was their job when they were first made.
Yeah.
And now it's just, I have shitty eyelashes. I'm going to put those eyelashes on.
Why do you think I always have a good laugh whenever I see a woman wearing fake eyelashes?
That explains why you laughed at me the first time you saw me wearing fake eyelashes.
I do to every woman I see who's wearing fake eyelashes. But they don't know why, because they don't know the history of them.
No, because I was 14, 15 at the time.
To be fair, when it comes to drag queens when they do it, that I actually understand.
Oh, yeah. I love drag makeup, honestly. I prefer drag makeup to half of the makeup looks that I see nowadays. It's because with drag queens especially, it's men doing makeup and they're doing their own makeup and it looks better than half of these teenagers I see nowadays. It's That's my third profession, bitch. Which I will be doing after this podcast.
Well, I suppose somebody will be, but yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'll be doing work stuff after this podcast is finished. So, well, as you said, you should see Aaron before he puts on the makeup for the 50/50 booking show, though. It's quite a thing.
Does he have a whole regime?
Yeah.
Aaron, you've got to tell me some of your tips and tricks. I need to get better at doing makeup.
Actually, we need to ask Aaron a serious question here. Do you wear fake eyelashes?
Oh, this should be interesting.
Yeah, I'll be. This isn't a response. I think this happened before then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. Literally, just before he comes on the show, he's just woken up.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't surprise me.
Oh no, that is what it is.
Yeah.
Because when you have sometimes have unusual hours and stuff, that it can just be a thing where people will just literally roll straight onto doing a show because they've just literally woken up.
I'm going to add a bit of warm lighting into the room because that's really cold and it's washing me the hell out.
That explains a lot. This is Aaron responding to you about me talking about the eyelashes.
Wow, I did not. Jesus Christ. If anything, you was making my makeup. Thank you very much. Have a good day, sir.
Okay, I've got to ask you though, Aaron, were they second hand? They hadn't already used them, right?
We're still talking about the eyelashes, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah. Just to be clear.
Just to clarify.
Oh,
Why? Why is the weather so fucking shit?
that actually explains a lot.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Okay. Wow. Actually, I'm pretty sure I have more of the stuff that my mum got me. Wow. Okay. Right. Just for a bit of info for people who do not know, I know Aaron in real life. He is a really close friend of mine. So yeah.
Yeah, let's be clear. Let's be clear. We also know Butt Saggington as well. So
Yes, we do.
So,
But right now I'm using a nice little Revolution palette.
Yeah, for anyone who's seen any of the other shows that we do, some of you would have seen Butt Saggington and embracing his drag queen, shall we say?
Mm-hmm.
And this is Aaron's response, by the way.
Actually, I might use that palette because there is a colour in there that I want. Right. Wow, I will be back in 2 seconds. I'm going to get this palette now. Just.
Well, I know the virtual you. I've not met you in real life, of course. So for all I know, you're a computer-generated image that Kira made up. I don't know.
It would help if I could find that palette, or else my sister fucking. Oh, it's here.
Steph, have you met Butt Saggington in real life, or is he a computer-generated image created by Kira?
No, I haven't met Butt Saggington in real life. I obviously know his missus. I'm really close friends with her.
That's what I mean. Is he a computer-generated image that she made up?
I think so. I mean, there are a lot of conspiracy theories going around. Oh, really? Really? Oh, really?
I'm guessing really because he put it as a comment. So,
and that's what I have to say to that.
By the way, Butt Saggington and Aaron, if you want to come on, let me know. I will send you invites.
Oh, this could be entertaining. But yes, this is the palette.
You guys can stick to the comments. It's fine. Just let me know.
Yeah, but this was the eyeshadow palette Aaron was on about. He got me that. He got me this palette when I started doing my hairdressing career. So yeah, and I had bright blue hair at the time. So yeah, I believe it was blue and green. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong because I actually can't remember. It's been a while.
As has life.
Yes, as has life. Do you know, it's actually kind of pissing me off. So I made a cup of coffee, right, before the show started.
Yeah.
And then I have one of my siblings come into my bedroom and they hand me my dinner. And I had McDonald's, so I really couldn't be asked to cook today.
Coca-Cola for when you can't be fucked.
Yeah. And now I keep on looking over there and I'm trying to pick between 2 drinks and I don't know which one I want.
The nearest one. Go for the nearest one.
The nearest one's the milkshake.
We'll go for that then.
And then, it just means I have coffee for later.
There you go. See? Easy. Ta-da!
Save my long-lasting relationship with caffeine.
Yeah, there you go. It works. I noticed how neither one of them.
Ah, thank you.
You might want to be careful of that because we are going to be quite rude on this show. Just to be very clear, you know? Because there's going to be lots of rude words said here, so I don't know if that'll affect your Twitch. So just bear that in mind.
Yes. I don't know what colour to do. It is. Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny is that symbol for male-female thing he's got there. Because half of its calf, it looks like it's sort of sagging, like it's an erect penis that can't quite get up.
It needs a bit of help with my hair, don't it?
Get up!
Just fucking what?
Come on, Bluey, up you get. Come on, Bluey.
But
For those who don't get that, that's a Viagra joke. Because Viagra comes as blue pills.
it's raining, and as I am a smoker, that is not good. It's also not good for my doggo either. He hates the rain.
About what, Aaron? You need to be a bit more precise for that comment because I need to know exactly what you're referring to.
I don't even know what that is. Is that like a helicopter?
They're microphones, I believe.
Oh, it looks like a helicopter.
What, do I know what Viagra looks like? Yes, I do know what Viagra looks like because a friend of mine is a doctor. And secondly, it helps to know what things look like because you don't end up accidentally being taking things that people give you. Snipers, huh? Yeah, of course they're snipers. And Stephanie's Mahatma Gandhi.
Who? I'm sorry, who? Who?
I can't explain it without it sounding really dodgy, so I'm not going to. It's basically the guy who partitioned for the British to leave India. Okay. Without me going more than that.
Oh, fair enough. Some of these shade names are kind of whack.
They're what?
They're car 98Ks.
That sounds like a computer code. Quick, enter the cheat code. It's car 98s.
No, it's up, up, down, down, left, right, BA star.
It's a type of sniper, is it? Right.
Wow, what's your attitude, man? Jesus.
As opposed to what? A type of snipper?
I mean, I could be a snipper if you really want.
Well, you got the tools.
Hey.
You can always offer half. You can always offer them half off.
I swear, right? Every time I'm doing something, my phone starts to vibrate. I'm like, what?
No. See you later, Aaron. Stop. Thanks for stopping by.
Okay, bye.
Do you know where he's going out to, right? The garden. Yeah, the garden. To be fair, unless I'm going out for work, I generally don't. Apart from when I go out for a cycle, though. I like cycling.
I go out for college/work because I consider it as my job.
Yeah, but I'm old curmudgeon git. I'm allowed to not do shit like that. You, however, are young and should be doing stuff, apparently. I said apparently. Because apparently, if you do something different from the social norm, you're a weirdo. Apparently.
Oh, that's one thing that's really, really fucked me off. Right, I'm going to talk about this because you've actually segued quite nicely into what I wanted to say. So
you can blame Aaron for that.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. If he watches this back later, but I undergo counselling to help with some of my mental health problems, right? And my counsellor full on turned around to me and said, so why are you so career focused at the moment? I was like, well, I'm career focused because I want my career. Does that come across as like a bad thing or something? And she's like, well, kind of, because she got me to answer a bunch of questions and she didn't expect them to all be so career orientated because there wasn't really much about my personal life or anything. Chucky. Chucky. But and she went, so do you ever see yourself like going back into a relationship? I've been single for about 3 months roughly. Double caffeine. Love that.
It's my relationship.
Oh, that's the only relationship I have alongside bed and food. That's it. But yeah. She was like, do you see yourself like getting into a relationship, or do you see yourself ever going out on dates and stuff? I was like, no, not really. So she said, well, you wouldn't even like do a friends with benefits thing. I'm like, no.
Well, what's the benefit? People are skanks.
Now this is gonna sound. I'm gonna make myself sound like such a fucking whore right now, right?
Go
But
for
I
it.
don't give a fuck. If I go out and I want sex, it's gonna be a one-time thing, and I'm never gonna want to see your face again
Mm-hmm.
because I'm literally just there for the fuck. That's it.
What she's basically telling you people is, as long as you're happy to wear a bag or a paper bag over your head, then there's a chance.
Yeah, but she was so confused, and she was like, "Oh, surely you don't mean that." I was like, "Yeah, I do. What, is there something wrong with it?" And she went, "Well, it's just not really normal for a girl your age to think like that." I'm like, "It may not be normal, however, it's my decision."
I know quite.
And
I'll say
you know,
I would disagree with her. I know quite a few girls who think like that.
yeah, I don't see how, as a woman, saying that I don't want a relationship, whether it's with a man or a woman, or anyone for that matter, if it's with a relationship with anyone, it's at the end of the day, it's a decision that I would have to make, and that's one that I don't want to make. I've made a decision, it's just not the correct one according to society.
Oh, fuck society.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what's really fucking pissing me off at the moment. It's because I'm having guys go, "Oh, why don't you come out for drinks and stuff?" I've had a couple of other girlfriends of mine go, "Oh, why don't we all go out? You can find yourself a nice lad." Oh, my boyfriend's friend's single. I don't give a fuck. Good for your boyfriend's friend. I don't give a fuck. It just blows my mind how society makes girls feel like they have to have a relationship.
Yeah, it is a bit stupid, that, I think, because it's literally, because if a guy did the same thing, nobody would blink an eye. So I don't understand it at all.
Oh no, all of his what I just said about just going out and having one night stands and shit and never seeing that person again. If a guy does that, all of his friends and his family would cheer him on, everything. But because it's a girl, we get labelled sluts, whores.
I would point out, generally, if the mother knows of a guy, the mother will actually not be happy about it.
Oh no, the mother won't, but the father and brothers and
Let's be honest, it's the male relatives.
Yeah, and all the guy friends.
Guy friends. Oh no, you said guy. Sorry, I thought you said gay. I got confused.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, speaking of obviously that sort of thing, because obviously I think it's even weirder when people think it's fine because even then, when it's a girl, it's still not as bad as what happens to people who have who like the same sex hookups. Which I think is even worse bullshit.
Oh yeah. It's just, as someone who has had same-sex hookups, I don't get why people either A, want to hide it, or B, think it's fucking wrong. I'm like,
well, I mean, I'll give you an opinion here. As people who know me are very well aware, I am straight, I am hetero, but I speak as a hetero person. I don't see the problem. Because if you like guys or you like girls, either way, I think you're very much entitled to have the same sort of relationships as a straight person is. I don't understand why I don't understand why people seem to think it's okay to bash people just because they happen to like a guy after a guy or a girl if you get. I've never understood that. I think it's dumb.
It's 9 times out of 10. It is purely based down to people do it because they're trying to hide their own insecurities.
Or
that's kind of,
or in the closet.
Yeah.
Because sometimes some people are so far in the closet they can find fucking Narnia.
Yeah, Because the thing is, like, there are some people who are like in a happily hetero marriage with kids, and the bloke goes to the office 5 days a week and bloody and his fucking.
So they go to the orifice. They go to the orifice 5 days a week.
Yeah, so they go to their day job and then they're going to fucking gay bars and doing hookups with random men. But yet they are slating the fact that same-sex hookups and relationships.
Yeah, it's funny how that's perceived, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely on the stranger part of things.
It is definitely. So what I'm going to do, just in case, I'm just going to send out another invite to someone and see if they want to join us.
Okay.
Because obviously, I sent one out earlier, which you know about. So it's just whether they can rejoin us or not. I've also sent one out to. Well, look in the chat. Look in the chat. You'll see who I've sent it to.
Yeah.
Because I've read some of the messages I sent earlier, so I'm just figured I'd give them the option of joining us. They could be busy though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't understand that shit at all. Basically, why people think it's necessary to double standard that kind of thing, I don't get it. Because to be honest,
it is
I would
definitely
because if it's like a safety thing or whether they think it's dangerous, I would honestly, as a heterosexual male, if I was going to decide which was safer, I would say being somebody who likes somebody of the same sex is probably a safer situation to do that with anyway.
Oh yeah.
As if you're a hetero person going out and doing it.
I'm gonna try and not go into graphic detail because you're uncool. But
okay, right.
Yeah. So, as someone who is bi, currently by themselves, bye.
I've been that kind of bi for a while, but anyway.
So, as someone who is
by myself, to be clear.
Yeah. But as someone who is bisexual, I've had a couple of girl on girl things, right? And personal opinion, it's better than men. At least I'm not slating all of my exes because a couple of them have been decent and know who they are. But most of my exes did not know what the clitoris was and did not know how to fucking work my G-spot properly. Women, because we understand our own bodies, a lot better option.
Okay, question, right? Was your boyfriend called Kyle? Did he come from a town called South Park in Colorado?
No. I've never actually dated a guy called Kyle.
No, for those of you who are unaware, the South Park, one of the things in South Park, I think it's the film actually, is the character Kyle spends most of the film trying to find out what the clitoris is and how to find it. Bear in mind, this is a 10-year-old boy.
Yeah, I mean, considering I don't actually think I've seen that South Park episode.
It's the movie, I think, if I remember correctly.
I might have to watch it.
Because the movie is where the song comes from, you know the one.
I actually don't think I do.
No, the song I do.
You're gonna have to.
That song. That's where that song comes from.
Okay.
I think you know what song it is now, don't you?
I believe so.
Yeah. anyone who's ever seen it, who's watching us, will know what that's from as well. So more than likely, if you have the right generation, of course. I mean, Gen Zers may not, but you can generally find.
Can we just talk about how
you can generally find it on? I think it's Netflix or Amazon Prime anyway. If you want to find these things, but yeah.
I believe it's Netflix. But
I know they're all on Amazon.
One thing
it's still there.
See, one thing I don't like is how, obviously, my generation is Gen Z, or a millennial, whatever you want to fucking put me in. I believe they're the same thing at this point.
Go on.
Yeah, because I've been told I fall as a millennial because of the year I was born, but I've also been told I don't. I fall into Gen Z. I'm pretty sure they are the same thing.
I will look it up for you because I'm nice that way, right?
Thank you, because I need answers because it's like bugged me.
You're not a millennial if you're a Gen Z. Gen Z's after millennials.
Well, what's the cutoff for millennials? Because I know it's a little bit before and a little bit after.
You're a millennial if you're born between 1980 and 95.
Okay, so everyone from 98 onwards.
95 onwards, you're a Gen Zer. So you're a Gen Z, you're not a millennial.
But, so, thank you for clearing that up. Huh. That reminds me of avocado.
That sounded like somebody was masturbating just then, by the way.
It's my mascara.
Yeah, I didn't think it was you because I don't think women would make that sound if they're masturbating. It's very much a guy's wanking off sound.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure women I'm pretty sure women aren't that violent when they pleasure themselves.
I wouldn't know.
I mean, I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm not a woman. So.
Yeah, no, I actually genuinely do not know.
Well, I also assume you can't speak for every woman on the planet either, so there is that.
Oh yeah, no, I can't. But as someone who actually hasn't done that.
What? Women on the planet? Fair enough.
Oh no, I've done a few women on this planet, but yeah.
I thought maybe
right,
you might have done. I thought maybe it's on about Martians or alien women or something.
I mean, but as someone who is a part of Gen Z, because now I've got the right generation, my generation has been labeled the snowflake generation because we can't take shit seriously, but we take things too seriously, and apparently we're also way too politically correct. And I fucking bollocks with that. I'm sorry, as someone who is in Gen Z, fuck the lot of you. That's not me. You can't just assume everyone in that generation is like that, because 95% of that generation is like that.
To be honest, I think it's the millennials that are responsible for it. I don't think it's the Gen Zers, because the millennials are what's affected everything. Because the millennials are now of an age where they can have an influence on the world. Gen Zers, for the most part, are still at the height peak of probably about your age, which isn't that old.
Yeah, no.
As opposed to millennials who are at this point in their 20s or their 30s.
Yeah.
Where they have much more of an influence on the world, as opposed to the Gen Zers who don't. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
So I blame millennials for this shit.
I hope Yeah, no, I just There are so many people to blame. I just don't bother anymore. I just say the world's fucked.
Don't blame
And
the
it's fucked.
planet. It's not the planet's fault.
No, it's the people on the planet.
There you go. The Earth
And
didn't
even
do
then,
anything.
it's not all people on the planet.
Yeah, the Earth didn't do anything to deserve this shit.
No, maybe that's why the fucking virus got brought around there. Like, right, wipe them out, boys.
Well, you never know. We are overdue for an extinction level event.
Mm.
You got to bear in mind the last extinction level event was the one that killed the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And before that, there was like 4 others. So I'm pretty sure we are due one. I'm recording from memory. It's 3 or 4. I always get the number confused, but I know it's one or the other. Because the 4 might actually include the one for the dinosaurs, which in which case this means we're due a 5th one.
Way.
So either due the 4th or the 5th one, but we are overdue one.
Oh yeah, definitely. We are 100% overdue a extinction. And to be honest, it might actually do the world a favour.
Well, the world will be fine if we're here or not. It makes a difference to the planet.
Mm.
What it makes a difference to is possibly the living organisms on the planet. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what lipstick I want to wear.
Yeah, it's interesting considering, but yeah, no sign of who I sent the messages to, or no responses either. So.
Mm. Now, do I do something in your face or do I do something more nude?
What was that? Are you talking about
lipstick colour? Do I go for like everything else?
I thought you were talking about cum shields again. Okay.
No. Been there, done that.
That's not a good choice of words, by the way.
He made all of that noise just to tell somebody about the video game being like Xbox. I never understand.
How to numb the minds of a generation. Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And letting kids play it too much.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, me, I look fucking ridiculous right now, but oh well. For me, growing up, I had a PlayStation 2 to start off with. And
congratulations.
Yes. And I didn't really play on it that much. And as somebody who I used to play Piglet's Big Game over and over again, okay? That was the only game I would play.
What game?
Piglet's Big Game.
Okay.
After Piglet's Big Movie.
I thought it might have been Lilo or Stitch or something.
They never released a Lilo and Stitch game, unfortunately.
You know why, don't you?
Why?
Because it was touching me. Stop touching me. Stop touching me. Do it. Do it.
I'm doing my lipstick. That's a bit more important.
Fuck your lipstick. Do it.
I don't think it'd fit. I think it'd just fall right out.
Stop touching me. There we go.
Now back to your scheduled programming.
Exactly. Yeah. So every time that gets used, I will not continue talking until she responds.
Does that while I go for a smoke break. Because I'm going to do that in a minute and do a mojo check. Because my doggo is not feeling 100%.
No, well, that would be very boring it'll be very boring for everyone while you're gone. But I mean, I've sent out invites to somebody up to cut the other people, so but they haven't joined us. So
yeah, I'm just gonna finish off Mini Cook first because he's currently
wipe the cum shield clean.
Well, from what I've just been what I've just seen from my birth giver, he's being looked after at the minute by her. But she said that she wants me to check on him in a minute.
Well, it'd be easier if he didn't have an issue with water because you could have just get him to put his paws in there, but obviously he doesn't particularly like water.
No. But yeah, he'll quite happily put his paws in the ocean.
I've seen.
Willingly.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah.
There's an Instagram picture of him doing it. So I saw it earlier, actually.
It is really adorable.
I'm curious when he's going. I'm curious when he's going to go to the theatre though, because apparently he was queuing outside.
But I would just like to say something now, and this is directed at makeup users, because I've had a few people say, "Oh, eye pigments are just for the eye," and blah blah blah. Yeah, okay, it's called an eye pigment. However, this eye pigment looks really good on my lips, so I'm putting it on my lips. And I just don't think people understand how versatile makeup really is.
I would like to point out, unless something's bad for you, fuck what other people say and try it anyway. If you want to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's not a case of you should do it even if you don't like it. No. If you don't want to do it, then don't. But don't not try something just because people say it doesn't look right or it's not good. Design for yourself.
Oh yeah, definitely. The amount of times I got told certain things like, "Oh, you won't make it as a musician, you won't make it as a hairdresser," or "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that." The whole "you can't" and "you won't be able to," just say fuck off and fuck them. Because at the end of the day, the only person who does get in the way of what you want to do is yourself.
Well, the thing is, a lot of time when people say that, it's a case of they're afraid that you will do better than they can do, which means they're not your friend. It means they are envious or jealous of what you could become.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There are certain instances where people are looking out for you, but there's a big difference, and you will know the difference.
Oh yeah.
Because sometimes that people will stop you doing something because it's really dangerous, for an example.
That's when you should listen to people.
Yeah, those people who are trying to help you with that, those are your friends. Or at least they care about you.
Oh, yeah.
The people who you know don't really give a shit are the ones who don't communicate, don't respond to messages, do all that kind of shit.
See,
if you have to chase somebody all the time, if you have to chase somebody all the time to get responses, then they're not your friends. They're your friend when it suits them.
Yeah, so an example of that would be before lockdowns and before viruses and before I wasn't such a blinking closed off human being.
About 1100 years ago, before COVID.
Yeah, pretty much. I went out with a couple of my girlfriends and we went to the bar and we were drinking quite a lot. And it was getting to the point where, but it got to the point where I had the most to drink out of all of us. And it doesn't take the bare minimum to get me absolutely out of my face.
The bare minimum, huh?
But it doesn't take a great deal either. It's like a medium ground. And one of my friends turned around to me and she was like, you need to drink water and you need to sober up. And I was like, no, I'm fine. Me stumbling around in my heels, like, you know, as you do. And I was like, no, I'm fine. Gets another shot. And then throws my guts up everywhere. That, I should have listened to her when she said to get some water and to sober up. Because I had had way too much. Woke up the next day with alcohol poisoning.
That's one of those things where that's always going to be a bit of a weird one because, yeah, that person probably is looking out for you. But if you are drunk, speaking of someone who doesn't drink, I'm completely teetotal. What you'll find generally, if a person is drunk, you cannot have a reasonable discussion with them because they're not reasonable because they're drunk. So you can you could tell them the most crucial thing to save their life in the world, but if they're drunk, they're not going to listen to you.
Nope.
Because they're just going to think they're right because they're drunk. Because that's what happens. People decide they're right when they're drunk and get all sort of weird and inhibitions drop and all that crap. Instead of actually listening to people who are trying to make sure you're okay.
One thing that I did, I was at a house party when I was 16.
Hang on. The house had a party. What kind of house were you in?
It was at one of my friends' houses because her mum and dad weren't around and she had
did it have hydraulic legs and shit? Did it dance?
No. As in the party venue was her house.
I know, I was being funny.
I know, but I was also clarifying for viewers.
Oh, I see. I think they'd much rather it was my scenario where the house was actually physically dancing because I think everyone would love to have seen that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, probably. I would have.
Yeah, but anyway, house party.
Yeah, so I was 16 at house party and there was a lot of vodka and a lot of tequila and a lot of other spirits. And there was like Coke and stuff to mix it with. But my friend, she got so off her face. And she was just drinking vodka straight from the bottle into the glass and then into her mouth for it.
Is it anyone I know?
No.
Okay. Because there's somebody we both know who I'm fairly sure would do this, so that's why I ask.
Oh yeah, no, this wasn't that person. This was someone else.
Okay. Right.
And so she was drinking vodka. She was pouring it like all the way up to the top of the glass and drinking it. So I've got her glass because she was like, Steph, make me a drink, please. While swaying around everywhere, slurring her words. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I made her a whole glass of water and pretended it was straight up vodka to sober her up about 5 times.
That's fair enough.
And she didn't realise. Because she got so bad, she could have ended up going to hospital.
Yeah.
It was that bad.
Well, here's the thing when it comes to that stuff as you get older. Your great uncle, my uncle, he drinks spirits, beer, port, whatever. A lot of time he drinks port. But there comes a time in the night where he knows he needs to stop. And what happens at that point is he starts drinking pints of water.
Oh yeah.
And the reason being is the next day he doesn't get a hangover because of it. Because he stops and starts drinking water. So it allows the alcohol time to come out of his system. And the water dilutes it. So by the time he's slept and woke up, it may still be there, but it's nowhere near as bad as it would be if he hadn't have done that.
Yeah, I definitely learnt that trick. But I also learned to eat something before I went to bed and to take ibuprofen.
Well, you should also eat before you drink anyway. But yes, drinking, eating before you go to bed is actually a very good idea.
Mm-hmm. And also have a glass or a massive bottle of water by your bedside.
But be careful what you eat.
Yeah. No curry.
No curry.
No.
You want a stable, solid food. Pizza, maybe.
Pizza's good. One that I find works is kebab, like doner meat. Because of how greasy it is.
That can be iffy for some people, but it would go in there.
Some people, especially if they have a hangover in the morning, they get a fry up as well.
Yeah, that works for some people. Again, that also makes some people sick. So it's one of those weird things. So
yeah, just find something that you know you will eat while out of your face, and if you're hungover.
I have one for you. You probably haven't heard this one. I have a friend. Before they go to bed after they've been drinking, will actually have a Viennetta.
Ooh.
And when they wake up in the morning, they're fine. They're not hungover or anything.
I like Viennetta. That is really nice.
It's weird, isn't it?
I haven't had one in ages now that I think about
it. Neither have I. I think it's been years in my case. But
it's been about a year for me.
It's been a lot longer than that for me. But I always thought that was really funny because literally he would have a whole Viennetta, like the whole thing. So when he wakes up in the morning, he's fine.
Nice. Right, I'll try not to be too long, but I am going to quickly go check on Mojo.
No worries. I mean, I knew it was going to happen anyway. So, it's all good. So, people, you're going to have to put up with me just filling time while Steph goes off and checks on Mojo and probably has a fag on his Steph because that's just Stephanie. Probably two fags because she's like that. She's greedy. She wants all the fags. Yeah, I know I'm number one. Thanks, Steph. I appreciate that. So yeah, just killing time until Stephanie returns. At this point, it's there. Just checking a few things here. Looking at stuff for work, things like that. Started getting a lot more inquiries and stuff for work because obviously here in the UK, the restrictions have lessened as a couple of days ago. So it does make it much more interesting, shall I say, as to what may happen. It's all good fun. Do 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 do. Let's see. So, let's see. Oh yeah, it's down here and up there. There we go. Hey. Yeah, I've had a quite long day, people. I got very early today to do some work stuff. Obviously, I had to do some preparation for this. I mean, not a lot because obviously it's not like sorting stuff. And of course, I'm on here, and when we finish, I've got some more work stuff to do as well before I go to bed. And all fitting and when during that, I was also finished reading a book, which was cool because I've been making way for that book for a few days now. Well, not too busy. I can read books very quickly. But yeah. So what happened basically is I read very quickly, but when I'm busy, I can't give my full attention, so I have to do bits and pieces in spurts. But I finished reading the book today, which was nice. It was the let's see, I can't remember the actual name of the book, which is bad, but it's a Common Strike novel. Well, the Golf Brave book, yeah. And let's see, was it Troubled Blood? There we go. That's what it's called. I've also got the audiobooks for a lot of those books as well, which is nice because I'm a big fan of audiobooks because sometimes I just don't have the time to read. Actual books, so but yeah, there's 5 books and I've got all of them, so kind of enjoy them myself. So most of the time though, a lot of my reading is done with audiobooks, or because when I'm traveling, it's the easiest thing to have access to is audiobooks or listening to podcasts, because a lot of my working days spent traveling, either cycling or on transport. And while I'm doing that, I'm usually also doing other stuff, whether it's paperwork or planning, whatever it may be. So always gets quite busy, depending on what's going on.
Hello.
Hello, it's Stephanie's clone.
Wow. It's raining.
It's raining, man. Hallelujah.
And my mother is asleep.
Or maybe in Kira's case, it's hallelujah, it's raining Ben.
I'm just going to put my camera back to its normal setup now, so. Haha, there we go. We are back to the normal setup.
Yeah, I was just telling the people that I've been busy reading a book today as well as doing work stuff. I actually finished the book today I was reading. So
Nice.
Well, it was good for me. It's one of those Common Strike books. It was the most recent one. So I finished reading that today. So there's 5 of them. I've got all 5 and I've read them all. So, but normally I'm quite quick at reading. But lately, of course, when I've got work stuff and whatnot going on, I can't give it my full attention. So I have to do bursts of reading.
Yeah.
For me, it's easy said than done because I'm a speed reader when I need to be. When I actually want to read a book, though, I like to just relax and read it, so I don't do it fast. But I am a very quick reader when I need to be.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to books, I have digital copies and I also have like paperbacks. And the reason why, and most of the time I have duplicates, and that is because if I want to break completely from my phone, from everything, and I just want to switch off, I read a paperback copy instead. And I find that helps a lot more, especially if there's a lot of stress going on social media and stuff. I prefer I prefer just being away from it all.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, you know this, but I'll tell the viewers. Literally, in my case, unless I get a message on social media or I'm posting about my business, I'm not on social media at all. Because it's a very bad place.
It is, and it's really, really dark. I mean, that's where most of my insecurities and how my self-esteem plummeted. It was because of social media, and when I get really low with my mental health and I suffer quite a lot, I don't want to read something on my phone and then have a million of messages and stuff come up on social media while I'm reading, which will then make me want to go on it. So I prefer just switching off completely. I turn all my phones off. turn the Wi-Fi off on my laptop. I disconnect my TV, everything.
Yeah, my only presence on social media is for the podcast network and for my company. That is it. There is no I have no personal presence on social media at all because I have no reason to have one. In all honesty, the way social media treats people really put me off ever wanting to do that because either you can't have a free opinion and say what you want to say. I'm not saying you need to be racist or rude or anything, but people should be entitled to say what they want to say.
Oh yeah, definitely.
To a point. To be very clear, I'm not abdicating racial hate or anything like that. But you still should be allowed to have an opinion, even if somebody doesn't agree with you. I believe people are entitled to an opinion. And whenever there's elections or anything, I stay well clear of social media, even more so than I normally do, because people are dreadful. And I don't want to be dealing with that stuff, so I don't.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to my social medias, I do have personal and professional. But at the moment, I've kind of gone on a hiatus from both. I do go on it every now and again, but I'm not on it as much as I used to be. And one, it's purely based on I don't have the time anymore. And the second one is I just completely disappear. But the other one is I've lost my train of thought now. It can put, if you wake up and you're in a bad place anyway with your mental health, especially if you suffer with depression or anxiety, it can make it a lot worse. Because you see, a big one for me is I'm a plus size woman, right? And I see all these people go, hey, look at how to lose weight and how to get rid of stretch marks. I have stretch marks all over my body because of traumatic weight gain, because of pregnancy. I have a lot of stretch marks on my body. I also have a lot of self-harm scars and a few other bits and pieces. And it's just, I see people go, oh, look at this new fad diet and everything. Look, I lost 20 pounds because I drank this fit tea and I shat through the eye of a needle for a week. It's just, one, it makes plus size women feel insecure about themselves. And then seeing people bash stuff like self-harming and everything, that's one that gets to me quite a lot. Because obviously with my past, I used to self-harm and everything. And it's just seeing people be so horrible about scars, because I see it as their battle scars and I survived and I made it through. Because there was a point where some of my family members, especially really close ones to me, didn't know if I would make it to 18. That's how bad it was, especially my mum. And I've now made it past that, and I'm thriving at the moment. But to see people bash that, it makes me want to just do this quite a lot and just stay hidden. And it's not fair.
Yeah, I think the thing with self-harming though is because there's a stigma to self-harming, like there is several things. But I think the big problem with self-harm is most people associate with this fraction of those people who do self-harm who are just doing it purely because they want attention.
Yeah, and that's what pisses me off.
And the thing is that as a result, everyone that self-harms by those people is put in that bubble, which is why I hate labels.
Yeah. As someone who's been through that, one of the reasons I used to do that is I would emotionally numb myself so I wouldn't feel anything. And if I was scared that I wasn't feeling anything at all, I would self-harm to make sure I could still feel pain. And as bad and as fucked up as that sounds, that was one of the reasons. Other reasons were, one was weight gain. I gained a lot after one of my breakups when I was in secondary school, because I used to comfort eat and I hated myself so much, I decided to damage my body. And then to be called an attention seeker because I didn't myself, or because they're not that deep. That's what really pisses me off.
What I find really funny when people say comments, particularly those kind of comments, oh, it's not that deep. Are these people doctors? There's no way they know if they're deep or not, because they are not medically qualified to know how deep a cut is. Or even if it's in a place where it causes severe harm. Most people don't have a fucking clue.
No. I mean, one of them I did actually have to go to the doctors for, because I was 0.5 millimeter away from my main artery in my wrist, and if I'd have went a millimeter further, I would have bled out. And then to have someone the next day, I go into school and I completely forget that it's there. And I've done that with my blazer. I've done that, and they were all on show, and they're like, "Oh, you're doing it for attention, rah rah rah." I completely forgot they were there. And I know that sounds weird, but once I do things, I do forget about them.
To be honest, that says more about the person who's saying, "Oh, you're doing it for attention, blah blah blah." When a normal, rational person, my response if I see something like that, my first thing I say to somebody is, "Are you okay?" It's not, "Oh, it's an attention thing, blah blah blah." Right? Because one, if that person really has proper issues as to why they're doing it, calling them an attention.
Sorry, 2 seconds.
Yeah, calling them an attention seeker is not helpful. In fact, it can cause a lot more harm than it does good. So, if you ask them if they're okay, you'll probably work out from the answer whether they are legitimately having issues or if they are just seeking attention. Because if you're seeking attention, it's very obvious, because people can pick up on people who want attention.
Yeah. I mean, one answer that there was something a friend and myself were talking about this a couple of days ago. He asked me how I was, and I was like, "I'm fine." And I'd actually emotionally numbed myself because I didn't want to feel anything for a while. And I went down to a low point. And he showed me this image of it was a picture of the words "I'm fine" written in cursive, and then you flip it around and it says "Save me." Because when someone says "I'm fine," people just brush it off. Because when someone like myself, we say we're fine, we're not. 9 times out of 10, if we say we're fine, we're not. We are in a dark place and we are suffering. And since my friend has shown me that, I was like, wow, okay, that speaks volumes, because it's such an involuntary response nowadays. People go, "Oh, are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine."
Yes, it's a defensive answer. That's why you're literally just trying to get people to leave you alone.
So if someone is genuinely okay, they'll say something like, "Oh, I'm good," or "Oh, I've been better," or "Yeah, I'm not doing too bad."
People will be descriptive if they're going to give you an actual answer rather than a deflective reflex, which is what "I'm fine" usually is.
If you have a friend who you ask how they are and they say, "I'm fine," just say, "I'm here if you need to talk." Don't press, don't try and push them for answers, and don't try and go, "Oh, but you're not really fine." That's not what we want to hear. We want to hear, "I'm here if you need me." Because hearing those words can change someone from going to kill themselves that night to actually opening up and talking. Those words could be a difference. And, it's one of those things. People do need to be a bit more aware of these kind of things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. But at the same time, I think the natural response to somebody who says I'm fine will be, as a normal person, the response should be, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
Okay. Then if they say I'm fine again after that, that's when I would say, if you need to talk, I'm here.
Yeah.
I would never take just the first answer if somebody says I'm fine, because I'm fine, because I said before, I'm fine to reflex. If they give you it twice, then it's a defense mechanism, which means just give an answer which says, I'm here when you want to talk. I'm not going
Yeah.
to push you.
I mean, the amount of times like I've told you I'm fine as well, and you've done that, I'm like,
Yeah, because I know it's bullshit.
I'm
Generally.
just like, I'm good, I'm fine. Because it's like, because no one other than you and a couple of other close people to me have ever doubted that answer. I'm like, panic, 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 panic. Yes, I'm fine.
Yeah, so some people are very good at hype of picking up on those particular type of answers when people give them. I mean, in my case, because I used to work as an investigator, I'm very heightened to people's responses to things.
Oh yeah.
So you become much more aware.
Mm.
But some people are just intuitively aware, and it tends to be women who are more so than guys, in all honesty.
Yeah. I mean, regardless, the people who did second guess my own finds, I'm really grateful for. Because if no one had second guessed it, my brain would have, like, you know, just been like, oh, fuck it, let's go. Like, time to say goodbye.
Yeah, it's also a societal thing, because obviously going back, talk about anything like that was frowned upon. It was like, oh no, you can't talk about that. You got to keep it hidden. Right nowadays, you've got the opposite problem where the wrong people are getting all the spotlight for things that happen, as opposed to the people who actually need the help.
Yeah.
Which,
and I think that's what is really fucked.
Which to me is actually worse.
It's really fucked. It honestly is. And, you know, I mean, another big one that most, and it's a guy thing, and like men aren't meant to really talk about.
Oh yeah, but we're not supposed to talk about emotions. If we're sad, you know, we're supposed to be fine no matter what. You know.
Yeah. You know, if you've gone through a breakup, if a guy and a girl, like a heterosexual relationship or a man on man relationship, and one of them is heartbroken, and it's the guy, if the masculine macho man, for instance, is upset and sad, people will tell him to brush it off.
Right. I'll sum it up this way. Right, it's a very brief description, right? Basically, if a guy's in a relationship, regardless of whether it's a guy and a girl, guy, girl, whatever the combination may be, if you're a guy, you're pretty much told to suck it up, buttercup. There's more out there. Why are you crying? Why are you upset? You're a guy. Pull yourself together.
Yeah.
It's simple. These same things are not said to women. Okay.
Oh,
and
no.
I'm not trying to pick on women here. Like, I'm making a point.
Oh, no.
When women do these, when women have these reactions to a relationship, people listen to them and people take them seriously, which is great. I think they should. Absolutely, they should. Men do not get treated the same way in this regard. But there's also things where women don't get treated the right way either, but I'll get to that. But in this scenario, men are not treated as a woman would in a relationship. Men are pretty much told to, you're a guy, deal with it. Essentially. Now, where women are not treated right in a scenario is basically, how do I explain this without saying, I've got to try and be very clear as to what I mean. Basically, to try and explain this as easy as I can, things like Me Too have really caused a lot of issues with women. Okay, and the reason being the perception of women. I don't mean women actually, because there are some women out there. I do mean some, because there's a lot of very nice women out there of all kinds of beliefs, situations, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But there's a handful of them, like there is men as well, who are literally just give a bad name to their gender because of what they do. But the problem with something like Me Too is it got a bunch of people to say, oh, this happened and this happened, right? And people were not allowed to doubt them. They had to believe them no matter what. And the vast majority of these people have proven to be liars, which tars an entire gender with a reputation now that they probably don't, which I would say probably, because obviously I don't know every woman on the planet because that's ridiculous. There's no way I could, which probably most of those women will not deserve. And some of those women have probably had that actually happen to them. And there'll be people doubt now because of it. But here's the thing: should you believe every woman who makes an accusation? No, but should you give them benefit of the doubt and listen to them? Absolutely, you should. But the place for an accusation is the police, the courts, not social media, and not your friends. Okay, because if it's that much of an issue, that's what the law is for. Okay, the same thing applies. Same thing applies to if it's a guy. Okay.
Yeah.
The law is where this goes. The police and the courts do not spill it to the press, because that really in itself looks terrible if you do that. Because people just if you're first up with the press rather than the police or the courts,
you look judgy.
Yeah, people will doubt you. I know guys will doubt a woman if she does that, if that's her first port of call. Whether that's right or not is another thing entirely. Because there may be reasons. I mean, because if you're a woman, for an example, if it's a woman, I'm guessing if a woman had this happen, it was a police person that did it. I can kind of understand what it'd be a bit. I don't want to go to the police.
Yeah.
So in that sort of situation, I get it, because same if it's a guy with a copper as well. I mean, you would be a bit wary of going to the police if a copper was the one that did it, for an example.
Yeah.
But outside of that, why would you not go to the police?
I will say, as one from person.
Sorry, I do mean if you're making the accusation. I don't mean you should. I'm not saying you have to go immediately afterwards, because not everyone can cope immediately afterwards, because that's asking a lot of someone. But when you're at a point where you want to do something about it, apart from the rare situation where it's a copper where you're going to feel probably a bit, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But there are other places you can go to if it's the police.
Part of it, yeah. I mean, a big part of it could be, and I will say, one, down to personal experience, and two, from what some of my friends have told me. Now, I will say, me and the people that I am talking about, one, I'm not disclosing names. I will make up fake names if I need to.
No names. We're not doing names here.
No. But the second thing is, I've gone to the police about this first. This is I think maybe the second time I've talked about this live. But as someone who's been in that situation where it's abuse, it's terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying, even though you know you're doing the right thing. And it may have, I mean, for me, it was about 2 years after I went to the police. And one, oh God, I'm trying to work it out. And the other one was about 13 years after it happened, I went to the police about. And I was terrified, because there are so many people who lie about abuse and sexual assault and all of this, when people who have genuinely been in that situation, we don't want to come forward because it's terrifying, because we're going to get judged. We think people aren't going to believe us because there are so many people who lie about this. It gives all victims and survivors, essentially, well, technically all the victims are survivors, so that's what we are. You know,
Oh yeah, if you're an actual victim, yes, of course you are.
Yeah. It gives us a bad name, and it makes it a lot harder to come clean about these things and to actually push for a court orders and for trials. I mean, it took me about a year to get one of them sorted, and the other one I had to drop because I had people questioning about it because of how long ago it had happened. And the reason why it took me so long, it took me about 13 years for one of these. One, it was someone who was very close to me when it happened. And two, my life was threatened. I was told if I went to the police or if I told anybody, they would kill me. Oh, 2 seconds.
Yeah. It's the thing about something like that. It's oh no, but the thing is as well. Speaking for me, I have never been through this, which is the big caveat I should explain to people. I've never been in this situation, so I don't know how I personally would react to this because I've not had it happen. I can only tell you what I believe probably should happen.
Yeah.
But it's very much a general opinion. Every situation is different.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay? But the big issue why people come forward, and the big thing is a lot of people don't get believed, is because a lot of the high profile people who come forward and say these things, it turns out they're lying.
Yeah.
And if a famous person can lie about it,
it means normal, everyday, average people potentially are too. Just because some big A-list celebrities fucking lied about it just to get some publicity of any kind.
Yeah. Oh, they did it, so I can do it too, essentially.
Yeah. It's, that's what pisses me off about the whole Me Too movement.
Or there's the I want to be famous thing.
Yeah. I know who you're referring to.
I'm not going to name names, but there's a few of them out there. Guys can find them quite easily if you do a search. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the thing is, I should probably clarify something as well, by the way. Earlier on, we were talking about people this happens to, refer to them as victims. I don't like using that word.
No, I don't.
I prefer the term. I'm trying to think what the term because it's not victim. There's a much better word I use for it, and it's more a case of because they're not victims because what happened to them is not their fault. They're not asking for this to happen, no matter what anyone tells you. Nobody asks for it. I'm much more of the case of they are well, probably survivors probably is the best word. Yeah. So they are survivors of this.
Me and a few friends, because we get called victims because of stuff that's happened to us. We're like, no, like, bitch, please, no. If anything, what happened to me when I was younger has made me the woman I am today. It's made me realize that I need to stand my ground and I do need to be careful with who I let in. And it's made me a lot wiser, if that makes any sense, as twisted and fucked up as that is.
No, I get it. But the other thing is, what I would say, whether you're a guy or a girl, though,
yeah,
you're not. You should never feel like it's your fault because it's not.
No.
Okay, you're not victims. You have survived. And the people who have done this to you, right? Because this is an issue I have with this particular thing. Generally, when people are killers and rapists and stuff, they're like referred to by all these really amazing nicknames, whatever. It's like it's the Ripper, or it's the Slasher, or it's the Rapist, or there's some sort of really fancy name for them. I think that probably fuels the ego of people who do this stuff because they want that kind of thing. Surely, the best thing to do is give them titles which make them feel ashamed of it.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know, call one of them, I don't know, Johnny Can't Get It Up, Limp Dick. You get what I mean? It's like you almost want to embarrass people to not do this shit because they shouldn't be doing it.
It's just, and the thing is, there's something that I've been told by someone who works as a police officer in where I live. I've been told drug dealers get more time than rapists.
Of course do.
And it's just, personal opinion here, rape is worse than dealing drugs. Personal opinion.
I will get to that in a second.
Depends on the drug.
On average, from when I last checked, rapists on average get between 18 months and 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, as a drug dealer, you'll get anything from like 6 months to 5 years. Again, it depends what you're carrying. However, if you're carrying big amounts of drugs with intensive supply, you will get longer jail time than that, because if you're deemed as being a distributor of something like cocaine or heroin, those are higher banded level drugs, so you get much stiffer sentences. But this is an issue within the context of the law as to how these things should be enforced. There's nothing the judges can do about this, or even the police can do about this, because they are not in control of that. You have to pass a law and make adjustments to sentencing by going through something called the law lords.
Mm-hmm.
That's how this stuff works, which means somebody has to go to a politician, and this is the other issue you have, and get them to put forward a motion to the House of the Parliament to change sentencing laws, and then it has to go into the House of Lords, and it has to go, and then if it gets through that, then it has to go through the law lords. And then it can be forward to the Queen, who has to ratify it. Just to kind of explain how this shit works.
It's just such a long and tedious process as well.
Oh yeah, it takes ages.
Yeah, I think because sometimes from one of my mates, she was scared to come forward because she'd heard about someone who came forward about a domestic violence, and it took about 3 years just to get enough evidence because the police weren't really pushing for it.
Yeah, that can be an issue.
Yeah.
The problem is, and this is where you can have an issue if this has happened to you, is sometimes you'll find you'll get an investigator. I'll use the term investigator because I don't really want to specify, because different people in the police force can investigate stuff, so it's not just a PC or whatever. Sometimes an investigator may not have experience dealing with this sort of case. They may not know what to look for, what to ask for.
Yeah.
Or they're inexperienced at doing so. They've done it very few times, in which case they don't know what they're looking for. So sometimes those people you would need to be able to keep going at and nagging. But if you've suffered this, your first thing is probably not going to be to every day call up the police going, "What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Let me know what's going on. What's going on?"
Yeah.
If you're lucky, you will find someone who investigates it, who knows what they're doing, understands what's happened, and they know what to try and get hold of and what to look for. In which case, that stuff will generally work out quicker. But the big issue is that most investigators for the police don't know how to investigate all sorts of crimes.
Yeah.
And because basically, yes, you have specialist departments for certain types of crime. That particular thing isn't one of them.
No.
Which means they don't get specialized training unless they ask for it.
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate enough to get an investigator who had done several of these and had been, I believe they said they were in the police force for about 20 odd years, and this wasn't their first DV case, and he knew what he was looking for. But the process, it went by a lot quicker because he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
But one thing that freaked me out was having to see that person again. Yeah,
but the problem is that the investigator can't do anything about that, unfortunately. But yeah, if you manage to find an investigator who's been doing the job for about 20 odd years, there's a good chance they've dealt with multiple of these, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But for you as a person who this person is investigating for,
it's fortunate.
You want that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the problem is it means other people have suffered it. So you kind of do and don't want it at the same time.
Yeah, it's a very big double-edged sword.
Oh yeah.
But I think what made it worse was his solicitor was throwing back all the photos and used the fact I'm a makeup artist against me, because I had photos from bruising and everything that I'd had to document, and they accused me of faking it and wearing makeup and everything, and he ended up not going to prison for it. And I think that was the most heartbreaking thing for me.
Yeah, it's one of those things that happens when it comes to photographic evidence, because that stuff has to be very on point. And to be honest, when it comes to photographic evidence, a lot of the time, unless the photographs have been taken by the police, they immediately are challenged by a solicitor, because it's not the police that have done it. Because if the police have taken them, it's much harder for a lawyer to query the police taking pictures, because there's a chain of custody when it comes to the police.
Yeah. The last two that were used as evidence in my case were photographed by the police. The rest of them were all documented by me on my phone.
Yeah.
So the rest of them got thrown out because it was apparently contaminated evidence or some shit. I was just like, well, gee, thanks for that. And now what? Because that was a big part of my evidence, was those photos. But there was text messages and stuff. There was video, like, not video recording, but like voice recordings as well.
Yeah, I would say though, people, when it comes to photographic evidence, by all means, do keep a record of it, taking your own pictures.
Yeah.
Do so. But the thing you have to be very careful of is the process of who has access to those photos.
Yeah.
And beware it. And the best thing you can do is that you get the police to take pictures of them, preferably at the time, so then the police have pictures as well as you do.
It will definitely help.
Because it helps. Because if the police have those pictures, then there's a chain of custody. If the police have them as well, so if they match the pictures you've taken, and there's no differences between, it's much harder to challenge that as evidence because they match up, and there's a timeline.
I mean, one thing I am happy about is I was able to get a 2-year restraining order, which ran out this year. I believe it. Yeah, it ran out last month, but the thing is, I've moved on with it. It's happened, but it's a part of who I am. And if people say you're bullshitting, at the end of the day, if you have gone through it, you know your story. I know it's hard, but try and not take it to heart, because at the end of the day, you know your story, you know what's happened, and you know what's what.
Yeah, definitely. But here's the thing I'll say. It's something I'm going to make very clear out here. To the people who are lying about this stuff happening to them and are faking it, okay, you are making this 10 times worse for the genuine people. You're making people doubt them, not want to believe them. This applies to the police as well, because the police doubt a lot of this stuff because of people like you. So knock it the fuck off and let the genuine people get the help they need and not have them be doubted because of you bullshit artists who think, oh, me too.
No, at this point now, it's gotten to a point where I'm just like,
double panic motherfucker for you.
Yes. But I do want to go on to a lighter subject.
Oh, definitely. Let's get on to a lighter subject. She's touching me.
Not touching. But
stop touching me.
So last year, and this is about smoking paraphernalia here. Last year,
touching me.
Not touching me. Right. Moving on. So in 2020, in the UK, especially in England, menthol cigarettes were no longer available. It was, I believe, May 2020, menthol cigarette. You couldn't get menthol cigarettes anymore. However,
basically they're outlawed.
Yeah. And for a short period of time, they stopped selling menthol filter tips for for roll-ups, right?
Yeah.
What isn't making sense is they've stopped selling the packets of TaylorMades that are menthol.
Mm-hmm.
But yet I, who smokes roll-ups, give me 2 seconds because my evidence is coming.
1, 2.
How come I'm still able to get menthol filters for my cigarettes? Hello.
For people who don't smoke, you might want to show them what you mean by that.
So, menthol filter tips, they are literally... Oh, that's an empty packet. So, I'm just going to use this box. So, filter tips are what you put in the end of a cigarette. And
Yeah, for those who are not aware, it's the bit that goes in the bit you put in your mouth.
yeah, and this somewhat filters out some of the toxins and everything in tobacco.
In theory, yes.
Ta-da, hello. And it says in bold on my tobacco, tobacco smoke contains over 70 substances known to cause cancer. So it removes some of the elements. Doesn't completely eliminate.
Now it's 69.
Yay! We like that number.
Nice.
Nice. But it doesn't make sense because what they're trying to do is deter teenagers to not smoke. Because most teenagers who are under the age of 18 smoke with menthol filters because the taste of tobacco on its own, because you can get regular filters as well, which taste like nothing.
Yeah.
And
I'm guessing menthol just tastes nicer.
it's basically mint. It's a minty cigarette.
Yeah.
Now, as someone who started off smoking just normal cigarettes without the mint flavor or anything else, I started when I was 13, almost 14 when I started. So I started about five almost... Wait, no, it's longer than that. Hang on. 6, almost 7 years ago. There we go. Let's remember my own
Many years ago, at the dawn of time.
I'm not that old, thank you. Jesus Christ.
He's not that old either.
So, I just, sorry, I've just got to reply. It's a college thing.
What, they want menthol cigarettes as well, do they?
No, my tutor couldn't find one of my pieces of work that I submitted today.
Probably because you didn't submit it.
No, I did. They just realised they put it in the wrong fucking folder. Yay, college!
Story of your academic life, innit?
Yeah, people, and all my friends wonder why I smoke. College is why. College is a big reason why. But I was peer pressured into smoking. But
yeah, Brighton Peer made Steph do it. She didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
And South End Peer got involved as well. So
yeah. See, they're just outright bullies. It's nasty.
Yeah, you really should be careful with those peers. They're really bad.
Oh God, yeah. But
peer pressure, Steph. Peer pressure.
Yes. So I had a bunch of my so-called friends pressure me into smoking, and I just haven't stopped since. I've come close a couple of times, but I get uber stressed out, which then can cause a PTSD attack, and it's not fun at all.
Well, Steph, you're like a lot of men I know. You like a good fag.
Look, I'm only half, okay?
I would point out, by the way, that term doesn't actually apply to women. It's literally a male term.
I know. People forgetting I'm a woman.
Also, Not the best of terms to use. It's in context of talking about cigarettes, though. So, yeah, this is where I'll say this now before we get back to the smoking thing. There are certain terms used for things that are like nicknames or funny names for things, such as what I just mentioned. There are a lot of people who will be, oh, don't say that. It's horrible, right? Not being funny, unless you are one of those people. And if you take offense to that, and if you're one of those people, that's fine. I won't call you it. No issue there. However, if you are a straight person, you're telling me not to say that, fuck off.
Yeah.
Okay? And the only people who have the right to tell me not to say things about stuff is people who are that. It'd be like you saying certain things and then it's like a white person trying to tell you not to say things about black people, which black people don't have an issue with. For an example.
I mean, one big one is I do have a couple of friends who are black, and I'm just going to say it how it is.
Black balls or black people?
Just black people, right?
Okay. Just to be clear. As you mentioned before, as you mentioned before, Stephanie, you are a whore. So.
Wow. Love that. But so we were just messing around and talking, and I was like, right, I have a question that I need you guys to answer honestly. And they're like, what? I was like, right, do not think that I'm being racist, because I am not being racist at all. I turned around and said, do any of you like fried chicken? Because I genuinely wanted to know, but because that's a racial stereotype, I didn't want to think I'm racist.
It is, but surprisingly, a lot of the people I know who are black like fried chicken. I like fried chicken.
And they were like, oh my God, I really fancy KFC. And I'm like, well, it's just up the road. And they're like, right, let's go. We're going on a road trip. And we all got KFC. And they're just sat there like,
Unless you're a vegetarian or vegan, there's a good chance you like chicken. So I don't see how it's racist. You can always
it's just such a stereotype.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is. But at the same time, you can always ask somebody, do you like something? Because how are you supposed to know if you can't ask them? That's stupid.
Exactly. But I didn't want them thinking that I was being racist or anything.
Yeah, but at the same time...
Thank God they didn't think that. They just laughed. They laughed like the funniest joke ever.
Yeah, probably because I've heard plenty of white people ask them that same fucking question, is the honest answer.
Yeah.
But... at the same time, they could go up, a black person can come up to you and say, do you like crackers?
Oh. Unless they're covered in butter, then I will.
Well, the joke is back in times past gone. Black people would call white people cracker.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the thing is, it's a descriptor. I don't think it's offensive, in all honesty. I don't. However, the old white term for black people, that's offensive, because black people have told us it's offensive, so don't use it.
Oh,
I personally, by a lot of black people I know, I've been called crack a lot. Do I give a shit? No. And do you know why I don't give a shit? They've heard worse from other people. Okay, it's a word. I don't care.
Yeah.
The difference with the terms that are used towards black people are associated with atrocities done to black people in history. So I understand why they don't want to hear those, and they find them offensive. That I fully understand.
Oh yeah, no,
nothing's ever happened to a white person because they was called a cracker.
Yeah, I mean, one that really made me laugh was I was with one of my guy friends who is black, and we were in Canterbury, and we went to Starbucks. And he's like, what are you getting? I was like, I'm going to get a caramel frappuccino, because it was the middle of summer. We were having a heat wave, and I was baking hot. I also had bleached blonde hair at the time.
It's also
you're a basic white bitch then. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, but it's also a drink I know you have a lot, because you've had that around me plenty of times too, yeah.
Yes. But he was like, oh, so you're a basic white bitch then. And someone who is white looked at me, and I just burst out laughing. I was like, yes, I fucking am.
Yeah,
because it's not the first time I've been called that by him either. And he said, are you okay with it? The first time he said it, I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone will be different as a response to what you say to them, because everyone's different. You're black, white, pink, orange, Asian, whatever the fuck maybe. You can only judge by individual people in certain situations. But for the most part, if you're nice about stuff, people will tell you what they're okay with.
But
As they should.
So he was ordering a coffee as well, and they said, "How milky do you want it?" And he
Don't,
went,
don't say. I know what you're gonna say. Don't say it.
Hang on, I will quickly put this in our little chat box that we have that is private.
Because I have a suspicion what you're going to say, so I want to make sure before you say it, because I don't want you offending anyone. Okay, that's in context. You can say that. That's fine.
Yeah. And so he was ordering his coffee, and they were like, "How milky do you want it?" And he went, "I want it as dark as my skin." And I sat there and I laughed. And I laughed. Bearing in mind, like 2 minutes before, he called me a basic white bitch because of my order. And I just sat there and I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said that." And I turned around to him, I was like, "I can't believe you said that." And he went, "What? That's how I like my coffee." I'm like, "That's fair enough."
It's an easy way to explain it. I mean,
Yeah.
I can give you a situation where when somebody's trying to explain a color and they're like, really, really pale, and I'm going, yeah, it's like this color here.
Yeah.
Because I'm as white can fucking be. I literally almost have no pigment, right? Because a lot of the time I'm very, very white. So if I was to use a description for the color white, I usually just point to myself.
Yeah, I'm the exact same because, I mean, Peter's seen me in person. My lighting makes me look a lot more pale than what I am, but I am naturally quite pale until the summer. But even then, I'm still pale.
Yeah. I have to use lighting to make me look less pale. That's how pale I am.
Yeah, I just don't have a good lighting setup. Yes.
Stephanie is not as pale as she looks in that lighting because the lighting is very harsh on her.
Yes. But I'm literally only a couple of tones darker than what I'm appearing on camera.
Yeah.
I'm pale. I'm a milk bottle, essentially.
Yeah, she's not quite as pale as me, but she's pale.
Yeah. But doesn't help is mild anemia. But yeah, no, if I ever talk about a pale tone, I'm like, if someone goes, "I really want like a really pale nude," I'm like, "What, as pale as this?" And I point to like a pale point on myself that's like visible. Yeah. And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Okay."
But here's the thing I'll point out. That's the big difference there. He said that about himself, though, right? If you had said that, that's wrong.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And this is where people need to understand there's a difference.
Yeah.
I can say I'm as white can be. Okay. Fine. If he had said that about me, that's not okay. That's racist. If I had said what he said about him, if I'd said that to him, that's racist. If you use it as yourself as a descriptive, it's fine. But the thing is, he may have been all right with that, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
In context of a situation with your friend, that's one thing. But you couldn't go around and say it to every single black person because it ain't going to go down well.
One thing I did like, and this may sound kind of racist, but it was from his mum. I was called her little white chocolate bar. She used to call me her little white chocolate because I was the palest of his friends.
Yep.
But when I went over there, she was like, "Hello, my white chocolate, would you like a coffee?" And I'm like, "Yes, please, thank you."
Yeah, but but here's the thing. I don't think that's racist. That to me makes sense because if you are the palest person she knows, it's a good way to describe you.
Yeah, because I was the palest of his friends, and he would turn around to me and be like, "Oh, Mum's asked how white chocolate's doing." I'm like, "I'm good."
Yeah, but again, that's also in a relationship where you're friendly with someone. It's not a complete stranger saying that to you either. So that's also a difference. You have to look at the context of who you're talking to. If it's a friend, there's things you can say to your friends which you would not say to a stranger.
Oh God, no! Be careful with what you say to strangers, honestly, because we were all having a joke about how. So he brought up. We were with a few other of our friends, and my mate who went to Starbucks with me brought up about my order, and I was like, "Really?" And then I was like, "Well, from what I can remember, and this is actually a true fact, his favorite meal is his mum's homemade fried chicken." dead ass, that is his mum, that is his favourite meal. I was like, well, last time I checked, your favourite meal was your mum's fried chicken. And that was it. All of his mates just started laughing. And I was like, it's true though.
It's because they probably know it's true. That's why they're laughing.
Because, honestly, I've had her fried chicken once. Oh, it was so good. I loved it.
Yeah. But again, that's in a context where they understand.
Yeah.
Because they're his friends. They've probably been around his mum quite a lot, because it sounds like it was a family where his friends would be able to come to his house and she'd be fine with that.
Yes.
And probably feed them, because some parents do that.
Yes.
And in that instance, obviously, it means they would have had it, so they understand what you're talking about. And they know what he's like, because he'll probably have said to half of them, at least probably most of them, somebody, yeah, I need to go home now, I need to go have some food. And he'll be like, why? What's so important? It'll be, it's my mum's fried chicken. And that's the thing, because they all would have heard this. So you saying that would be a case of, yeah, we know.
But there was a few people passing by who thought I was being really racist and stopped to have a go at me until everyone just started laughing. And I was just, because I was the only white person there. Yeah. Everyone else was darker skin toned than me. And I was just like, hi, I stand out.
But this is the problem when you're when you walk past a conversation like that, you have no context. So you as an outsider to that conversation, you have no idea what's going on there. Don't stick your nose in, because you have no idea if it's just friendly banter or not.
Oh yeah.
There are certain situations you will know if somebody's in trouble or if it's a bad thing. In which case, by all means, do get involved. But in a situation like that, you're not really sure if you should say anything. But obviously, the minute they start laughing, it's quite clear what's going on.
Oh yeah. And I think that was a huge part, because obviously people who would walk by would see I'm the only white female there.
Congratulations. Now you know what most black people feel like.
To be honest, I didn't mind it. That's the thing.
Yeah, but here's it's this thing I'll explain to you, because this is a generational thing, very much so. Obviously, I grew up in London, right?
Yeah.
Growing up, either side, I had an African family one side and a Caribbean family the other side. And the male for the Caribbean was married to a white woman. She was a nurse, right? So I was used to that. I was used to having different races and cultures around me growing up. Not a thing, not a problem. Then I moved down to Kent when I was 10 years old. And it was like, spot anyone. I'm like, as a white person who's now in Kent, and I'm like, I'm used to having people from different cultures and backgrounds and skin tones and stuff. I'm not around going, where's everyone else? I'm like, there's only white people. What the fuck? I found it weird. It took, I mean, this was like 1990. I didn't see I didn't see a black person up until 95. So 5 more years until there was a kid in my school.
Oh God.
That was black, right? There was a certain amount of Chinese and Japanese people down that part of the world, but it wasn't that many. There was more Japanese and Chinese people than there was black people.
Yeah, see,
obviously it's different now, but that's what it was then.
But you've just actually made me look back on my childhood. I didn't know anyone who was black until I was in college. And that's purely, I had people of Asian descent. I had like people who were Hispanic. Everyone but black people. So I was around several different cultures, and then I went up to college. I was like, that's better. It's more inclusive.
Well, the thing is, if you're not used to being around people of different cultures and ethnicities and skin tones, then it's not really that weird.
Yeah.
But if like me, I spent my first 10 years of my life around that. So when I turned up and all it was white people, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Because to me, that was weird.
Yeah, I mean, even Mum was saying about how, confused she was about it.
Yeah, she was. I mean, obviously, your mum's 18 months older than I am, so
Yeah.
she would have remembered more than I did. Because your mum, like me, we had friends from different cultures, races, and
Mm.
backgrounds growing up. It wasn't we didn't. They're our friends. We didn't fucking actually care
Yeah.
where they came from. As long as they were nice and we got on with them, nobody gave a shit.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's a massive part about, like, especially my immediate family that live with me. We are also, the only thing we don't care about race, sex, religion, like sexual orientation. We don't care. Are
Excuse
you
me.
a decent human being?
Excuse me. I care about sex. Oh wait, you didn't mean that, did you?
No, I meant
Never mind.
about whether you're male, female, non-binary, gender fluid, all of that.
Yeah. I just realised that's what you meant, rather than
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, the other kind, yeah, I care about that.
Yeah, but anyway, go on.
So we don't care about any of that. We just go based off of, are you a decent human being? If the answer is yes, then hello, welcome to our lives. This is our humble abode. Enjoy. Have fun. Do you want a coffee? Do you want a snack? If you're an asshole, that's what you get in this household. And that is what me and my siblings have been brought up by,
In other words, you get the planet motherfucker salute.
Ta-ta-ta!
Ta-da!
We need to have like a graphic for that as well.
Oh, I'm working on that. Trust me. I am going to come up with something to do with that. I might have a video of me literally just doing like.
Yeah, but it's just.
Oh, like cowboys did with the guns, like.
Yeah, I mean, a friend of mine who I go to college with, her mum's a bit less inclusive, and her mum was annoyed because her ex was from Asian descent, and her mum didn't like that at all. And I'm just like, dude, really? Let us adopt you. Come here. Let us adopt you. You will be safe. And it's like, because it's still going, like, people are still so judgmental about it. And I'm just like, welcome to our family. Come here. You'll be safe. No one will touch you.
Unless you ask them to.
Yes, we don't bite unless you ask. But it's like, because she's so much more my family's mindset than what she is her own family's. So we're just like, come here, it's okay. Come here, little one. It's good. We got you. And it's just, because she lives in a different part of Kent to me, and it's like whenever I'm on FaceTime to her, she's always moaning about her mum. I'm just like, bless her.
Well, mothers and daughters don't always get along, which is a long-standing thing.
I don't know what you mean. I've always got on with my mum.
Bullshit!
Wow, I can't believe you'd say something like that. I'm your niece. You should trust me.
Ta-da!
Wow, I can do that too. This is what I don't get. Whenever I do middle fingers, like, my thumbs stick out quite a lot because it looks weird if I don't do it, because I've always done that. I've always done it like that. And I can't, if I put my thumb in, it looks weird. So I just have to do that. It's weird.
Well, the thing is, like, because obviously I do that. Obviously, so I tuck my thumbs in.
Yeah.
All right, I've always done that. But however, I can just do it like that, and it makes a difference to me.
Yeah.
But the reason I've always tucked my thumbs in is I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm doing. I want it to be very clear that I'm telling you, I'm up yours. Sometimes if you do that, it could be somebody's misinterpreting you as doing something else. Because you're not really swearing anymore at that point because the thumbs are out, because they're kind of distracting from the middle finger.
That's the thing. Whenever I've done it like that around my friends go, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And they went, "Your thumb's not out when you're doing that." I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, but the real grown-ups do it that way.
It's a weird thing. My thumb doesn't like doing that because my thumb can look and seize.
Well, so in my case, it's just reflex. I don't even think about it as well. I can literally just.
We've just flipped off our audience a shit ton of times.
Well, it's pathetic, motherfucker. You were warned.
Hey. Oh,
By the way, if we was on television, I would have just got us cancelled.
yeah. I think
can't
a lot of what we've been talking about would have got us cancelled anyway by itself.
actually no, just that one word would have got you cancelled because it's one of the 7 words you can't say on television.
That's a bit fucking stupid.
I know, but there are 7 words you cannot say on television, and one of them is that one.
What, motherfucker?
Yeah, that one.
Wow.
Yeah, it's surprising,
It's one
isn't
of my
it?
favourite words in my vocabulary to this date.
You can say it in film, weirdly enough, but on television, it's one of the words you cannot say. Well, you're not
So
supposed
that's
to
how
anyway.
Samuel Jackson gets away with it.
What? Because the snake's on his motherfucking plane. You mean that one? I told you, motherfuckers, that the snake's on my motherfucking plane. I might clip an audio clip of him saying that.
That sounds good.
Or just have a video of him pop up occasionally going, on my motherfucking plane.
Yes. Every time we use the word motherfucker, that has to be used.
Or we could just have a picture of him pop up on the screen, so it's like, hey, Lord motherfucker.
Hail the Lord motherfucker. And
What the fuck is that?
I don't know what I was doing. Just salute.
It's like you're trying to find the self-destruct button on your head.
It's not working. I think Mum disabled it again.
And reset.
Why would no? My reset button is when my head hits the pillow and it's pitch black and I'm comfy.
No, that's do not disturb.
I'm on that anyway.
No,
You
that's
should
you are. No, that's you are disturbed. That's a very different thing.
I know I'm mentally disturbed, but still. Oh.
And that's the noise that every man wants to hear in the morning. Actually, no, the noise they want to hear in the morning is, oh, good, it didn't split. Thank God.
Oh, yay, my period!
Yeah.
Finally!
What every boyfriend wants to hear if they've been shagging their girlfriend constantly unprotected for a month. Yay, my period!
No, it's not yay, my period. It's, oh, for fuck's sake! Babe, I need chocolate!
No, I'm saying that's what the guys are saying.
Oh,
Yay, her period. If it's the woman, it's like, fuck you, Mother Nature, you motherfucker. How the fuck you make me bleed like this for a fucking week, you bitch? You mean like that?
Yeah. And then it normally goes, babe, I want chocolate.
If you love me, if you love me.
No. Do you want to get me chicken nuggets? Otherwise I'll slice your throat open.
If you love me, get me some fried chicken. Oh, wait, no, that's something else.
I really fancy KFC now.
Well, you know it's finger licking good, and I know you like sticking your hands in buckets, but anyway.
Oh dear.
Hi to certain people who may be watching that we know.
Hi.
A bucket of fun for everyone. A bucket of fun for everyone. And I can get away with that comment because nobody actually knows what I'm saying. Which is fortunate for me.
Why has this got so many layers?
Because it's not you.
No, my cotton pads that I used to take off my makeup, they're full of like different layers. It's like a little book.
It's funny because when I heard you say cotton pads, I'm thinking, she ain't got a fucking sanitary towel, has she?
No, they are big softy cotton wool pleats, and these are for removing makeup. And nail varnish and
Or
put it
if you
in
want to
the
do,
mouth, shut them the fuck up.
also, if you want to do an impression of Marlon Brando as the Godfather, they're useful for that too. You just stick them in your cheeks and you go, on the day of my daughter's wedding.
Is my dog outside my bedroom door? If so, that'll be the first time he's done that all day.
You know, the funny part is in that film, I don't know if you've ever seen the film, he spends the entire first part of the film where he's giving out favours on his daughter's wedding. He's sat there in his chair stroking his pussy.
Oh dear. Oh dear,
He is. No shit. Marlon Brando brought his own kitten on set to stroke during that scene.
Okay, that's kind of cute.
And this cat is playing with him the entire time through this scene. That's supposed to be uber serious. But half the time, I'm looking at this kitten, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Even though he's been really serious, like telling people, on the day of my daughter's wedding, I'll arrange for this person to get beaten or this person to be killed. All the time, he's like playing with this kitten. It's hilarious.
Oh, good God. How can you have such a dark conversation with playing something so cute and innocent?
I thought it is a film, bear in mind.
Well, yeah.
But I just think it was Brando's excuse to have the cat on the show.
Yeah. Pretty much.
To be fair, as far as I can tell, Marlon Brando just did what he wanted anyway when it comes to films. Because obviously, I don't know if you've seen a lot more Marlon Brando films. What he used to do, and that people would let him do this was hilarious. You know how most actors learn their lines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't. He literally would have pages of the script placed strategically around the set. So he'd just read the pages for when on the scene he was doing.
So he had discrete idiot boards.
Well, they weren't discreet. It's just obviously the camera can't see him, but literally the script is there for him to just read off of, so he doesn't have to remember anything. And this was him getting the directors to do this as well. It was one of the directors' idea. Brando literally would say, "Yeah, I want these here," and he did this on loads of films, and they let him do it. It was fucking hilarious.
Oh God!
It's because I watched a thing about Marlon Brando. It's been about 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
And they explained with stuff to me. I'm just sat there laughing. I'm like, hey, I could be an actor if I can do that shit.
Oh dear. I mean, yeah. Make that acting sound so much easier.
I mean, to be fair to him, it's not just the words in his case. I think what helps particularly is a case of he could act. He could do stuff just by physicality and the way he did stuff. It wasn't necessarily what he was saying; it was more of the way he says stuff, which has nothing to do with where you've put the words or anything. It's to do with how you read them.
Yeah,
and that probably may have worked out better for him than him having to remember them. And I think that's why they'd let him do it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be shocking to find out.
I mean, I don't know if that's why, and I don't think I'm ever going to find out, but it just struck me as being a thing that's probably quite likely, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Or maybe he made the director an offer he couldn't refuse. Yay!
It is possible.
Well, it's a Godfather reference, and I got it in there, talking about the Godfather, so it kind of makes sense.
Wait. I've just realised I can see the church in the middle of the town of where I live from my bedroom window.
Congratulations.
Good thing it's far enough away.
Yeah, that isn't. You're not going to burn from being too close to it, yeah.
Yeah, no, which is always a good thing.
The Wickety Witch, the Wickety Witch. Sorry what?
Wow! I would say offended. I'm really not.
Well, I was going to say, what is offensive about that comment, really?
Nah.
Exactly, nothing. Well, there you go. Please, if you're listening and you're offended by that comment, it wasn't aimed at you. It was aimed at Steph, and Steph doesn't care. So fuck off.
I'm one of those people. You can say as much shit about me as you want. You can literally drag my name through the mud. I couldn't care less. But the minute you drag my family, like a member of my family's name through the mud, that's where I get involved, and that's where I want to kill you. Let's put it this way: I got in a fight with someone because they were starting to chat shit about my mum. It didn't end well for them.
Yeah, but Stephanie, it was no to try and punch me.
Oh no, I'm not on about you. I'm on about this.
It's a joke, Stephanie. Jesus.
No, I know, because I have this, and I said this to this bird who started talking shit about my mum. We were about 15. I punched her in the face, and I floored her, and I started beating the fuck out of her. When I got off of her, because I got off of her on my own. When I got up, I stood over and I was like, no one chats shit about my mum other than myself. Bye-bye.
No, I do.
No, you do as well, but you weren't there at the time. So.
Yeah, I also have seniority, FYI. I've been doing it longer, Steph, from the day I was born, which was long before you were born. So I have seniority.
I was doing it when I was just a bunch of atoms floating around in the universe.
No, here's the problem with that particular theory, Steph. It's before you were born, you were part of your mother, so you wouldn't. You was actually loving yourself.
Technically, if you think about it, a woman's eggs come from her mum, because obviously you're the egg inside your mum and your eggs are inside your egg. Technically, you
may want to think about that wording.
Right, so basically the eggs that the females have in their ovaries.
Yeah, Stephanie, you said you're the egg inside the egg.
So my eggs were inside the egg inside my mum, who was once upon a time an egg inside my nan. Exactly.
But that's not how you explained it before.
No, I didn't know how to. I struggle wording things quite a lot.
Yeah, it was better that you were clear.
If you're a watcher of this channel, you will understand.
Yeah, in that descriptor, it was better that you were clear about what you meant.
Yeah. So technically, I was an egg inside of an egg inside my nan.
Exception.
Yes.
Inside your nan, inside your great nan, inside and so on. Yeah.
Technically, all the direct female members of my mother's side, I was inside of.
Well, Steph, I mean, I have a family tree here somewhere, so I can go back quite far with that stuff. So
yeah.
Yeah, for those
you forget me and you are related.
I know, because I'm so much better looking. But anyway.
Wow! Ouch! Oh, that was a hit to the I don't give a fuck.
It was like, fuck you.
Yeah. Literally just, bitch.
Yeah, it's like when people call me names, I'm literally, I don't give a shit. Bye.
Yeah. Like, bye-bye, bitch.
Usually my most common response to people who call me names, I'm like, can you do something original, please? I'm bored.
It was funny, when I was in secondary school, someone that I didn't get on with turned around and went, oi, whore, directing it at me. And I turned around and said, yeah, what? She expected me to turn around and have a go. And I would, seeing as one of my best friends, Kira, I will drop her name on this one because she used to call me a prostitute in secondary school. And I'd be like, yes, hello, darling, how much you give me this time?
I was going to say, it's only because she paid you, but anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not being funny, Kira, if you're not going to be here to defend yourself, then you're a target.
Yeah. But I've just thought of a really funny joke. So, say for instance, if you're a prostitute that doesn't get paid, does that make you a non-profitable organization?
Wow.
That was bad. bad.
I would say it does make you very bad at your job.
Do not eat a lip gloss that has hyaluronic acid in it.
I would also point out, by the way, if you're a prostitute and you can't sell sex, then you really are a shit salesperson, because any woman generally can sell sex. Because guys are, well, speaking as a guy, most guys are controlled by their penis. I don't know why you've got that in your mouth for, Steph.
It's the only white thing I'll have in my mouth for a while.
There is such a response I can give right now, but I'm not sure you'd appreciate it. But anyway.
Oh, dear.
It's all good fun, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Until somebody loses an eye.
What? Say what?
It's the old expression. It's all good fun until somebody loses an eye.
Yeah.
It comes from the saying, don't run with scissors in your hands.
Wait, that's a thing? Not to run with them in your hand?
Yes, Steph, I've told you this before.
Fuck.
Yeah, I know.
To college.
Well, clearly you didn't have the right education.
Just for people who are listening who cannot pick up on the sarcasm in my voice, as a hairdresser, I do not run with sharp objects in my hand. I know better than that.
She gently skips along to the tune of I'm the barber of I'm the demon barber of Fleet Street. Oh, don't worry, I'm sure very few people will get that reference.
Mm.
If anyone does get that reference,
Mojo in a minute.
Yeah, you guys, if you do get that reference, put it in the comments, because I'll be curious.
Yes. I'm going to quickly go check up on Mojo, I think.
Oh, no, we can go in a bit if you want. We've done a couple of hours.
Yeah, I don't mind. It's up to you, but I do need to quickly go check on him because I haven't seen him for over an hour.
Yeah, well, we can always just say goodbye to our live audience anyway, because, as I said, we've been over 2 hours, which I think is plenty.
Yeah, I think we've bored them for long enough.
Well, to be honest, if they're still watching at this point, then clearly they won't put off by the fact of we kept doing this the entire time. And made a lot of conversations I'm sure certain other people would be uncomfortable with, but fuck you. And if you can't talk about the things in the world and have an actual conversational debate, then there's something wrong with you, in all honesty.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things I do like about, because this is pretty much, me and my uncle have conversations like this pretty much on every time we're on the phone.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
So this is basically normal for us to have these kinds of conversations. We're just showing you guys.
Yeah, I figured it'd be interesting to show you guys what it's like inside the world of Planet Motherfucker.
Yes.
So, obviously, if we do another one of these, we might get some more people on.
Yeah.
Some invites were put out earlier, but for various reasons, people either didn't respond, or in Dee's case, her Wi-Fi was just not working.
Yeah.
So, in which case, that's when there's something like that, there's nothing you can do about it. Because I've been very curious to hear Dee's opinion on some of the things we talked about. And considering what you just said about Kira calling you a prostitute, I'm pretty sure Kira would have been quite interested in that as well.
Thing is, we used to do it to each other. We would call each other prostitutes, so we're like,
Well, I personally think Butt Saggington might be interested in the fact of that too. But anyway.
Oh, you don't call me. Yeah, fuck off.
Just make sure you don't tell them to bump that.
Oh no, I wouldn't tell my good child that. No.
There you go.
Don't be upset. Oh, that highlighted though. I did a good job on that.
Yeah, you look just like him.
I know. I look perfect. My mommy said I could be anything I wanted to be, so I decided to be a chandelier.
My mum said I could be anything I want to be. And I decided I want to be a tree.
My mum said I could be whatever I wanted to be when I was older. I decided to be the family disappointment.
My mum said I could be anything I wanted to be, and I decided to be Samuel Jackson shouting, "The snakes on my motherfucking plane!"
Okay, you win that one. You win. I can't top that.
You could try, and I'm sure there probably is a top to it, but at this point,
Not unless I go extraordinarily dark, and I'm not doing that today. Next time.
I so have a joke right now, which we cannot say on YouTube. And,
Right, well, let's take a bit to the people, and you can tell me the joke.
okay, so bye-bye, people. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.